I'm Torsten.
What were you gonna say, Torsten? Go ahead.
Well, I guess we'll go back in editing, but I'm Torsten Dryden. I play the keys and do the vocals.
I'm Brian Dryden. I do drums.
I'm Dan, and I play the sax.
Awesome, guys. So, like I mentioned before, you guys have been on the channel before. So, how has things been? It's been a little bit. You released a record. So, how has like the production of that come along? I know you might be in the works with new stuff. So, how's that been going just since, last time we chatted?
Gosh, well, the record's been doing well. It received good reception. We recorded it up in Nashville at the Sound Shelter. It's called Heartbeat Massacre.
It's pretty great. It was a good time recording it. Took us, I believe, 5 days to track 12 songs.
Man, it was a good time for the rest of us. Brian, it was kind of rough for you though. You had the flu while we were tracking it.
Ooh.
No, I had the super flu as my
boy.
And we decided to drive up there, and I drove up there with the super flu, and then did all drum tracking in 2 days straight, and then died for the next 3 days.
Well,
It's very true. Whenever Brian was done, you just see him back in the couch in the control room just sleeping, and every now and again he'd wake up and be like, "Is everyone still alive?
Is it all good? All right."
And he'd
back
go
to sleep.
right back to sleep.
that is, you are a real trooper, Brian. That is quite the thing. But that's definitely cool, and I got a chance to check it out not pretty recently because I saw you guys post about it, and obviously I want to try to support you guys, so I gave it a listen, and I thought it was really cool. I felt like even when we talked it initially, I really enjoyed kind of what you guys were going for. I feel like it's totally different from what I typically do on this channel. So obviously everybody has the question of like, are you working on new material? Do you have anything like possibly in the works like coming up like in the next couple, either to the end of this year or like beginning into next year?
Well, we do have new music in the works. Right now we're trying to really push the visual aspect of the album. It's definitely got a very 80s drenched retro wave type of feel to it when it comes to the visual aspect, that we're actually going to be pushing the story, the visual story, through music videos.
Awesome. So are they going to kind of follow like a certain like theme, or like could you maybe elaborate on like what you guys are kind of shooting for in terms of like, obviously I love when bands do that sort of like musical, like they obviously release music videos with their music, but as well as that kind of having those interconnecting moments. So do you guys have like an overall like kind of theme in terms of like the music videos?
Yes, the overall theme is going to essentially tell a story incorporating most of our influences. So a lot of neon, a lot of references to John Hughes films from the 80s. We're definitely incorporating vampires, like 80s style vampires, like Lost Boys,
Near Dark,
things of that nature, and incorporating it in a not super campy, but definitely with respect to the genre and the time period. So
awesome. So I have a fun question for you guys. Oh, go ahead, Torsten. I don't want to cut you off. So
oh no, you're fine. But so we can be looking forward to that in the future. But as you were saying,
awesome. That's cool. I feel like obviously it's that spirit of the season, Halloween season. So I feel like that's going to be really cool. Hopefully, that will be coming out very soon so people can check that out. But kind of to stray away from it a little bit, I always like those fun questions. So I have a new one for you guys. If you guys could compile like a musical supergroup, who would be in your band?
Ooh, man.
Gosh, I guess definitely Brandon Flowers from The Killers.
Okay.
Let's see, who would you guys add to it?
Oh, jeez, probably Slash on guitar.
Slash on guitar.
Ooh, okay.
I'd have to throw Matt Halpern on drums from Periphery.
Oh, okay.
Here's one that's kind of out there. Jordan Rudess from Dream Theater.
Ooh.
On keys.
Okay.
And who would be drums?
Matt Halpern.
Oh, right. You said that's what you said.
Who would be
Right.
bass?
Sorry. Who would be bass?
Who would be bass? Yeah.
Throw a flea in there.
Yeah, throw a flea in there. So it'll be like a like an indie alternative metal funk. Yeah,
Something.
like
Be
that.
something.
They would be everything. They would
Yes.
That's such a fun question.
they would be so good at all of the genres that there would be no genre to encapsulate their sound. So who knows? I don't think it will ever happen, but you never know. But my next question, guys, is another fun one. If you guys, what song would you wish that you had written? Like if there was one song either on the radio or like personally, what song do you wish that you wrote?
Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a very good one.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with that one too. It's just got an instant guitar riff that's recognizable, and it's the same verse twice, so it's easy to sing along to.
I think for me, going kind of differently from those guys, I've always been a huge Audio Slave fan, and I think if I could have wrote, if I could have had the opportunity to write Coach Ice, that would have been that would have been fun.
That would be.
That would be sick. All right, guys, kind of bringing it back to the more focused on it, but obviously I asked this in the last interview, but what have you been jamming recently? What are some bands like on your Spotify, whatever?
Definitely, I don't know how, but they found me.
Yeah.
It's a up-and-coming indie group. They just signed to Fearless Records, but it's the ex-bassist from Panic at the Disco
Oh, cool.
and the ex-drummer from Falling in Reverse. So they're doing this like insane, eclectic, it's like late 70s, early 80s thing, but it's a two-piece. It's just drums and bass with
Oh, that's
vocal.
sick.
Yeah,
It's
so
really cool.
they're really pushing this whole eclectic, subliminal message theme. It's super cool. I definitely recommend them.
As of late, I've been listening to the new Beartooth record, newest Dance Gavin Dance record. Both are phenomenal, and I'd probably have to say the Kid Cudi Kanye West collaboration group, Kid Sees Ghost. Been really getting into that lately.
Now I've been listening to a lot of Joji here as of late. I've really been liking the stuff he's been putting out. Others, and mine kind of goes all over the place too. Listening to Joji stuff. I've been really enjoying Shinedown's new record. That's been a lot of fun, and a few jazz CDs. Bob Reynolds, he's a fantastic saxophonist. He's got a new album out, and I've been listening to that a lot.
Awesome, guys. I like the diversity. You know, there's some bands that I know more than others, but I'll have to go give it a listen. I had no idea. I did see somebody post about the Fearless band that was just signed. I forget the name because I'm getting old, but they definitely seem really sick and something that I could probably get into, so I'll have to check it out.
Sure.
But my next question, guys, Torsten kind of brought it up via text when we were chatting, but you guys have gone through some member changes, so if you guys want to kind of talk about, like, you know, what's the new member changes, what they bring to the table, and, like, you know, maybe some of the stuff that you guys have been working on, like, in the future.
Yeah, well, we lost a guitarist and a bassist, but we brought in a multi-instrumentalist. He does both. His name's Jack Vermouth. He brings a really, really fresh take to our music. A lot more funk-inspired than anybody else really in the band, but it adds a nice little dynamic to everything. Plus, he's just a really cool guy. Very, very dependable, very good writer. He's really good for us.
Awesome. Do you guys have anything else to say about, like, in terms of new sound? Like, do you guys feel like, you know, are there any other bands, because we talked about influences on the last one, but do you feel like your influence has shifted in terms of, like, newer stuff, or are you guys kind of keeping similar to the same thing?
We're really digging into our post-punk and new wave roots on this next record. We've got a track called Space Love that we've been working on that draws a lot of influence from The Who and the Guess Who, like songs like American Woman, Eminence Front, things of that nature. But it's still going to include synthesizers, and we'll still be having a lot of fun with different diversity when it comes to the instrumentation. So it's really a grab bag with the biggest influences being new wave and post-punk.
There's also a very heavily electronic-inspired song called "The Moon That Never Sets" that gets pretty metal in parts.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really, really fun to put out one day, hopefully soon.
Awesome, guys. Another fun question: if you guys could pick somebody to collaborate with, whether it be a producer you want to work with in the future or a guest feature, who would you guys want to go with?
Ooh. I would love to record an album with Rob Cavallo, the guy who did the Black Parade.
Oh, sick! Yeah.
And My Chemical Romance. Yeah.
And American Idiot.
Yep, and American Idiot. He's just got a massive sound that I don't know. I feel like if anybody could capture our sound better than our current producer, it would be him.
Awesome.
What about you?
Man, I think I'd really like to cut a record with John Feldman one day.
That would
John
be fun.
Feldman,
That'd be so much fun.
He's so cool.
I saw a tweet the other day where Mark Hoppus tweeted, "Help! John Feldman's making me say na-nas again."
That's so funny. I guess guest feature-wise, it'd be really cool to incorporate like a hip-hop artist in on something. Just pull like a Fall Out Boy. You know, they had several tracks where they had Big Sean, Lil Wayne, just a variety of different people come in on their tracks, and I think that would be a cool way to mix it up, to not only be digging from 80s influences, but also incorporating like a more modern touch to it with like a flair of hip hop or something.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like your guys' sound, I feel like bodes well for like hip hop too. So I'd love to hear something like that. I don't have any artists in mind, but I feel like it could definitely happen. If I find any, I'll definitely try to like shoot them over to you guys, because that would be kind of cool. But my next question, I don't know if I asked you this the last time, so bear with me. But if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month, what album would you bring with you?
I'd have to go with Attack Attack's self-titled, specifically the reissue from 2012. That album is amazing. Or from 2011, my bad.
Yes, I also agree. Fantastic record.
What about you?
If we're trapped on an island, probably I would probably take "Homesick" by A Day to Remember. It's such a good record.
Okay, yeah.
One of my all-time favorites from them.
What about you?
Well, I'm gonna have to break the ice a little bit on this one. I'd be bringing the newest Portugal the Man record, Woodstock, because it's just a solid album from front to back. It's very different from their older material, but I really dig their new tunes. So
yeah, I had a chance to listen to it earlier on this past year, and I was like kind of blown away, because I had no idea it was the same band, just because of like the albums are like their older stuff is like a little bit more like psychedelic, a little bit more like out there, and this new stuff sounds like way more honed in. I feel like obviously with like the praise at the beginning for it, I feel like they definitely deserve it. So but lastly, guys, tell them about the Sunsets, of course, why they're all here, what's coming up in the next couple months, and where they can find you on social media.
Okay, so you can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Our handles are mostly The Sunsets Rock, all one word. We're also on Spotify now, and as well as other major streaming sources, so Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, the whole 9 yards. We're there, YouTube. As far as what's to come, we'll be working on new music and trying to really push that visual aspect of our current album, Heartbeat Massacre.
Awesome. Well, I love the Sunsets. I gotta thanks to Torsten for coming on, and you guys for coming back on again. It's always a pleasure as per usual. But check out the Sunsets. Links in the description. Go follow them on Spotify, because I know that is a massive thing now. So, and it gets you a little bit of an idea of when new music will come out with them too. So definitely do that. And if you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. It goes a long way. And of course, thanks to the Sunsets for coming on again.
Hey, thanks so much for having us on, Brandon. We really appreciate it.
We do, man.
Audio addiction rocks.
It's true.
That's right.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.